Hi guys, happy Tuesday and welcome to the morning after. Today we are discussing episode 3 of Rachel's season of The Bachelorette. I thought this was another great, very entertaining episode. It had a little bit of everything, a little romance, 2 very funny group dates, which I always love. I kind of like the early group dates because there's just so many guys and there's just a lot of like sort of competing. Let's see. So I'll go in chronological order. I thought Rachel's response to DeMario's return was pretty perfect. There was it wasn't a lot to not like about that. She didn't come off like ruthless or like unforgiving, but she just sort of like laid down the law, and it was very, very satisfying as a viewer. I like that she just sort of pointed out that he lied pretty much until he couldn't lie anymore, and she gave him so many opportunities. It just you can relate to not being able to forgive that. So pretty much he could have sort of maybe finagled his way out of that, but he just lied until he literally could not lie anymore, and so bye-bye. No big loss there. Rachel's response to Lucas's banana story was so funny. She's like, did this happen? Did this really happen? I love how incredulous she was, and he was like, yes, it did. And she's like, okay. It was really funny. Everything she does is just sort of like real and normal and relatable. I love it. And I also love that she sent both Lucas and Blake E home. I felt that that was warranted, and she obviously didn't feel it with either, so it was like, again, bye-bye. I didn't feel any sadness over that. And frankly, I was happy to see Lucas go home at that point. He was funny in the beginning, but then it got kind of one note, and he just seemed kind of wasted all the time. So yeah, he was slurring his words. Anyway, moving on. The first group date, Ellen, that was so funny. I thought Alex his personality came through in this date. He was really funny. Yeah, not much else to say there. I thought, I talk about some of the answers in the Never Have I Ever game in my Flair recap. Because I have a little, like, I raised my eyebrows once or twice at some of those answers. And now for the one-on-one date, Anthony, he's sweet, and nothing bad to say about Anthony. I just felt like this date was super glossed over in a way that felt like filler to me. And again, this is not against Anthony as a person. I just felt like they had a great date lined up, and Anthony fit the bill, and we saw one clip of their one-on-one like conversation in the evening, and that was that he had a great father figure and he wanted to provide that. And then the rest was like, oh, we're going in stores on a horse, and it was like, okay, but what about the relationship? And it just, again, it felt like filler. It was fun. What a cool experience for the both of them, but I just don't see Anthony lasting. Also, I cannot believe he's 26. That is insane. He just seems and looks, it's not that he looks old, it's just that he looks older than 26 and he behaves older than 26. And I say this in a very good way. I don't know, she loves humor. She's always into, Jonathan with the giant hands. Like, she loves to laugh. And I just feel like Anthony is just a little more serious, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just don't see them making it all the way. What else? Oh yeah, the other group date, wrestling. Can I have to take a moment to hypothetically imagine that the gender roles are reversed, and there's a bachelor and he's sending his bachelorettes out to strip down and dance for a live Ellen audience, and then get into the mud in their bikinis and wrestle each other while men in the crowd shout, "Take it off, let me see your junk, and let's see your butt." I think those were the 3 things that were shouted from the female audience. And it was entertaining, but it is ironic how many people get on this franchise's case for being sexist when really the men are getting the raw deal when it comes to group dates anyway on this show. I mean, just if you can't even imagine it. It's just funny how people will sort of pounce on the slightest little thing between women, but my God, like, if women were put in those positions, it would be all over Twitter, that's for sure. And okay, I'm gonna resist talking about Leah and Eric because I pretty much dedicate my entire Flair recap to that. So be sure to check that out, and be sure to check out alltheprettypandas.com. I will have my more analytical recap up there. But yeah, these were my quick takeaways. And yeah, thank you for joining me on the morning after. Oh wait, I'm supposed to answer questions. Yes, I have one question from Becca Michelle, and the question was, now that Waboom, I love that he just goes by Waboom. I love that Waboom, now that Waboom and Blake are gone, who do you think is going to be in the next bro fight? I can't help but think this question was maybe asked before the Lee and Eric thing kind of exploded. Honestly, I don't even know if Eric will be involved in that, but I feel like Lee is such a willing instigator. He enjoys it in a way that gives me the willies, honestly. I find him painful to watch because he's so condescending, and it's painful. So I definitely think Lee will be involved. Whether or not it's with Eric, I don't know, but definitely Lee. He's not shying away from the villain role, that's for sure. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week here on The Morning After.